If you never got picked for the team.
Kids like that, I mean, they can't help it. They're no good.
If you never got a chance to play.
Who are you, Vince Lombardi all of a sudden?
If you always dreamed of standing tall.
Timmy, I'm not sure, but I don't think that goes there.
This is your chance to be a giant.
Let's kick some... Somebody call 911!
Rick Moranis, Ed O'Neill.
I'll show you intimidation.
Little Giants, rated PG. Sneak preview this weekend. Check newspapers for theaters.
In a world where podcasts reign supreme, two friends dare to ask, do you even movie? Hosted by filmmaker Henrique Couto and movie aficionado David D. Neuer. Spoiler alert.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Do You Even Movie? I'm your host, Henrique Couto, here with my good buddy and co-host, Double D, Iron David DeNoyer.
Iron David DeNoyer.
Usually you say Iron before Mike.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But I don't know stuff. What? I guess it would be Diamond Dave. That's like usually that's the one, right?
As long as it's not Dustin Diamond Dave, we're good.
It pretty much is Dustin Diamond Dave.
That's fucking hard.
I'm just being honest, okay? And
so rude.
Speaking of honest, for those watching us in visual form, I'm going to comment on no, I am not ill.
Yeah.
I mean, I am the illest.
You are the illest.
But I am not ill, but the rosiness of my face is thanks to spending 10 days on a set.
Yeah.
In the dead of winter and it being very sunny.
Yeah.
And so I have literally, because there was snow and rain and then hot weather, sometimes I was completely bundled up.
Yeah.
And I always had to have a hat on. So I have a literal field worker's suntan. Like, it's just my cheeks and mouth. That's it.
That's it. That is literally it.
And
that's
it
all
is,
you got.
yeah, I literal like field worker's tan. And I already told Dave if he made any comments about me being Hispanic, he'd be canceled. So
Yes.
he's
Very aware.
leaving those behind.
Very
but
aware.
that's not what we're here to talk about.
It is not.
Because it's March.
It's March. We're moving into springtime.
Yes, and March is often known for March Madness, a
Yes.
time when a sport of some kind
Usually
does
basketball.
something. Is it basketball?
It's usually basketball.
Well, that's the time when people are excited to check out the gridiron and find out who gets the puck into the goal.
You're halfway. You're trying.
You know, you wouldn't know from looking at me, but as an indoor kid. I was an indoor kid.
Did you play sports at all? Like at all growing up, like with neighborhood kids or anything? Okay, oh, you're an indoor kid. All right,
we played
we're
Dodge the crack cocaine dealer.
I'm just reminded of the. Did you ever have a haunted house in your neighborhood?
Did you ever have a house you guys were all afraid to go to? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. No, I mean like one where like people died. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Many
absolutely.
times.
Yeah. Growing up in the hood's very different. But we're talking about the classic, deadly serious sports film.
Oh yes.
Of 1994, Little Giants.
Little Giants, indeed.
A film that I have to admit I always liked as a kid, even though I was not a sports kid.
That's a good movie.
Well, you spoil it. You just ruined the whole. Well, goodbye, everybody.
I'm
we'll
sorry.
see you next time.
I didn't know
Spoiler
that
alert.
That was just all we had to bring here.
No, but we're going to be talking about Little Giants tonight, a film that is a good bit of fun.
Yeah.
And wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel, which is why Siskel and Ebert apparently had a
Did
real
not like it.
problem with it. I do love when they tear apart kids. He's like, what a trite cliche concept. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, aimed at 11-year-olds.
Well, I remember. Do you remember the Heckler documentary that Jamie Kennedy did?
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah.
Do you remember the scene when they talked to John Lovitz about all the reviews that came in from Benchwarmers when he, because he was like the main, I think, producer on it, or I know he's in it as well. And like, he was just like, it was a kid's movie. And they like lambasted it like it was something along the lines of Citizen Kane, that it wasn't.
Well, I mean, they didn't lambast Citizen Kane, but I understand. I mean, to this day, I've been trying to find a high-resolution image of Uwe Boll punching a critic.
Yeah.
So I can hang it up in my office.
Yeah.
So,
You mean the documentary you're also in?
oh, Raging Bull. Yeah, I do have a little cameo in Raging Bull. I get around, man.
Yeah,
I
you
get
do.
around.
Yeah, you do.
What was didn't I just watch something and I was in it?
You were watching wrestling. You were watching a wrestling match.
Yeah, there was this video on YouTube about like wildest moments in professional wrestling, and they were talking about Rikishi freaking out on this guy and beating him with a chair, and they said it was at Heartland Wrestling Association. I was like, oh, I think I heard about that. And then when they showed the clip, I was like, oh, I'm in the front row.
Yeah, you are.
I was like 16 years old. It was. That's when you know you're getting old. You're in history now, kids.
That's fair.
But speaking of history,
Yes.
we have Little Giants to look forward to, and this is a film that I most certainly know nothing about the making of, or why would I?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
yeah, I didn't until I put up these notes together, so it's fine.
well, now you're just being dismissive and hateful. You want me to start calling you Ebert or Siskel? I mean, you're the tall one, so you're Siskel.
I do get hateful Dave as it is anyway. So
Salty Dave, being
hateful
salty.
Dave. So Little Giants.
Yeah, give us the deets.
So Little Giants is 1994 release date, an hour and 47 minutes long, rated PG for kids, rude language, and pranks.
Pranks. It's like I saw the TV rating for Twister, and it says for bad depictions of bad weather.
Yes.
Ooh.
So the director of this movie is Duwayne Dunham, but he may not just be the only director on it, which we'll get to towards the end of the episode when we talk about notes.
Now, is Duwayne Dunham anything like Bull Durham?
He is not. He is not anything like Bull Durham, and I just watched the movie for the first time like last year. So Duwayne Dunham has a pretty interesting career. He starts in the editorial department in 1977 with a film called Three Warriors, works on American Graffiti in 1979, is an editor on The Black Stallion in 79, editor on Empire Strikes Back 1980, Raiders of the Lost Ark 81, Dragon Slayer 81, The Mean Season 85, where he becomes the main editor. He still remains main editor on Blue Velvet in 1986, and then Cherry 2087, Throw Mama from the Train in 1987 as well, Fright Night in 88, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 88, and then his directing career starts in 1990 with Twin Peaks.
Hey, buddy,
series.
88's Fright Night 2.
Did I say that right?
No, you said Fright Night.
Oh, Fright Night 2. Yeah, it says
Fright
2.
Night
It says
2.
2 there. My apologies.
Yeah.
But,
wow.
Twin Peaks series
Please,
in 1990.
no, David.
Shut up. Wild at Heart, which he's also the editor on in 90. Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey in 93. Directs Little Giants in 94. Episodes of Seventh Heaven in 96. Jag in 95. Then in 1998, he directs a little film called Halloween Town.
I love Halloween Town.
I love Halloween Town too. And this basically makes him a staple of the Disney Channel because at that point, then in 1999, he does The 13th Year. Santa and Pete in 1999 as well. Double Teamed in 2002. Right on Track 2003. Star Wars Clone Wars in 2010. Then in 2017, he becomes the editor on the Twin Peaks series, the revision, and then he's also the editor. Revival. Thank you. Revision.
Oh, guys, this is going to be a great Dave chooses the wrong words episode. I can tell already. And I'm the tired one.
Yeah, that's fair. And then he also was the editor on 2020's The Turning, that movie with
I remember
Finn
The
Wolfhard.
Turning.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
I didn't love it.
It wasn't great.
That's why it's not on. That's why we're not doing an episode.
That's
about
why we're
The
not doing an
Turning.
episode on it. So wrapping up with Duwayne Dunham is the Turning in 2020, and then moving on to our writers, we have James Ferguson, who is credited for only the story and screenplay of Little Giants. That's his career on IMDb.
Only the story and screenplay.
Yep.
Which is damn near all of.
Well, no,
the
I'm
credits.
saying that's the only movie. That's the only.
But
credit.
that's the only credit he's ever had.
Only credit he has.
Okay.
So then we go to Robert Shawcross. He was the writer on Little Giants in 1994. Then he both writes and directs Bored Silly in 2000 and Uncle Nino in 2003. Our next writer is Tommy Swerdlow. He starts out as an actor in 1984 with The Wildlife, Real Genius in 85, Howard the Duck in 87, Spaceballs in 87, Hamburger Hill 87, Child's Play 88, Blueberry Hill in 86. He becomes a writer in 93 on Cool Runnings.
All right, man.
Goes to do Little Giants in 94. Bushwhacked in 1995.
Same director as Bush. Now, Bushwhacked. Writer. Sorry. But Bushwhacked, I love Bushwhacked.
Yeah.
That actually, there's a lot of similar gags with nerdy kids in Bushwhacked.
So then Snow Dogs in 2002, 1,000 Junkies in 2017.
Okay.
The Grinch 2018, the animated one, not the famous animated one, the one that came out. I think, oh God, who voiced him? I can't remember. I think it was Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch did the Grinch's voice?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to guess Judge Reinhold. Why? Because I always guess Judge Reinhold.
That's fair. Then Puss in Boots, The Last Wish in 2022. And then our final writer is Michael Goldberg, who also did Cool Runnings in 93, has screenplay on that, Little Giant screenplay in 94, Bushwhack's screenplay credit in 95, The Love Master in 1997, which I really like that title, but I've never seen that movie.
You've never seen Love Master?
Have you seen Love Master?
Yeah.
For real?
No.
I didn't think so.
Okay.
Earth Final Conflict in 2001, and then Snow Dogs in 2002. And then wrapping us up on our behind-the-scenes people, our cinematographer, Giannis Kaminski.
You said it right.
Yeah. I know Giannis Kaminski.
You do?
Yeah.
Would you go to school with him?
Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, we had a buddy, but David, he got through the name, and congratulations, buddy.
So, do you know why this fella is very special to our show in particular?
Is it because he wrote in?
So, Giannis Kaminski starts as a gaffer on Not of This Earth in 1988.
The Jim Wynorski film, which I have a poster of in my office.
Keeps on the gaffer stage with Saturday the 14th Strikes Back in 1988. Strip to Kill 2, Live Girls in 89.
He was a gaffer on Strip to Kill 2, Live Girls. So he gaffed on 2 films I have posters hanging up in my house of.
Gaffer of Dance of the Damned in 1989.
That's one of the best of the Roger Corman stripper movies.
He becomes the secondary DP on Lords of the Deep in 1989. Is the DP on After Midnight in 89. Chief lighting director.
The DP on After Midnight?
The second DP, second assistant.
Oh, okay. So, and you're talking about that anthology.
Yep.
I caught that on late night on like This
Comet.
TV or Comet or something.
Yeah.
And really enjoyed it.
Chief lighting DP on Watchers 2 in 1990.
I love all of the Watchers movies.
Then he becomes cinematographer in 1990 with a little film called Grim Prairie Tales.
I love that movie and you don't.
Didn't
you sell your copy?
It was a bootleg, but yeah. Or actually, no, I think I still have it.
Because I like Grim Prairie Tales.
It's got some great moments in it. Terror Within 2 in 1990. Cool as Ice in 1991.
Wow.
Killer Instinct in 91. Trouble Bound in 93. That freaking Michael Madsen and Drew Barrymore movie we watched.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adventures of Huck Finn, the one with Elijah Wood in 1993.
Which was a classic staple of my childhood.
I could see that. Because that movie was
everywhere. What's that supposed to mean?
That movie was everywhere. Like, it was in video stores, it was on TV.
Yeah, no, it really was.
Then he does Schindler's List in 1993.
What?
Follows that with Little Giants in 94.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You go from Grim Prairie Tales and Terror Within 2 to Adventures of Huck Finn to Schindler's List.
Yeah. Almost. Yeah.
One of these things is not like the other. No, that's an incredible reveal.
Yeah. Oh, just wait.
I just would expect nothing against this guy. He's clearly good.
Yeah.
But I would expect that you would have to do, I mean, I guess maybe The Adventures of Huck Finn, because it was such a big hit, maybe that made him a bigger name as a cinematographer.
Entirely possible.
I just would have expected a Dean Cundy or somebody to do Schindler's List.
Yeah. No,
someone who's, just always doing those big Hollywood flicks.
Yeah. So in 94, he finishes Little Giants, goes to Tall Tale in 1995, Jerry Maguire 1996, Lost World Jurassic Park 97, Amistad 97, Saving Private Ryan 98, AI Artificial Intelligence 2001, Minority Report 2002, Catch Me If You Can 2002, The Terminal, War of the Worlds, Munich, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and then Funny People in 2009. This is the guy that you looked up the first time.
This is the guy. So, for those who may not have heard this story, the entire reason that I taught Sweet David here that you always look up the cinematographers is because... this is so ridiculous.
I know.
Is because one time I was curious who shot... you said Funny People?
Oh, wait, yeah, Funny People. Oh, wait,
no,
yeah, so it's not...
40.
This is 40. My bad. I fucked that up.
Yep.
So now we have a blooper. Yep. Ah, damn.
But
I was really excited.
I was watching This Is 40 and I noticed that the way it's DP'd is really interesting.
Yeah.
And I was like, who did this? And I clicked and his first credit, or one of his first, was Strip to Kill 2. And I was like, wow. So this is literally that guy, because I never remembered the name. I just remembered the story of that happening.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. But also, I love that when I looked him up originally, I never read Past Trip to Kill 2. I never saw Schindler's List. I never saw any of these other like quintessential like movies.
Well,
That's hilarious.
Dude keeps going. I mean, at that point, so he goes to Adventures of Tintin in 2001 or 2011, Warhorse 2011, Lincoln 2012, The Judge in 2014, Bridge of Spies, The Post, Ready Player One, Call of the Wild, Oslo, West Side Story remake in 2021, and did The Fabelmans in 2022.
So he basically, is he the guy who like replaced Dean Cundy to Spielberg or something? Because wow. Because I remember at some point Cundy just stopped doing all the Spielberg pictures.
Yeah.
Wow, what a career.
No kidding.
What was his name again? Janusz Kaminski?
Janusz Kaminski.
Janusz Kaminski, we salute you as a director of photography. Yeah.
So are you ready to move into the synopsis?
Sure.
All right. So the IMDb synopsis for Little Giants says, Misfits from their opposing team of an elite peewee football team, coached by the elite team coach's brother. My synopsis says, Danny O'Shea forms his own team of Misfits for a peewee football team when his older brother Kevin decides to cut Danny's daughter from his elite team. Together, Danny and his team must find a way to show Kevin there's more to them than meets the eye.
Well, that would be a Transformers synopsis, David.
It works.
It does it?
I think so.
I mean, I don't know why you would need to. Now I'm critiquing you like I'm like I'm at work. Why would you put O'Shea in there? Nobody needs to know that.
Yeah,
it could just be Danny.
Yeah, Danny.
You didn't even mention that his wife left him.
Why would I need to mention that?
I feel like it's prudent. No, that's not a bad synopsis. Not a bad synopsis.
Not at all. So how did you first see Little Giants?
Television. Actually, you know what? I actually no. I think that it was rented at a friend's house. Because the first time I saw Little Giants, I was in New Hampshire visiting my dad.
Yeah.
I think maybe one of my dad's buddies, kids had rented it. Because I remember watching, or maybe it was on TV, but this would have been like 95.
Okay.
So it would have been when it was just on home video.
Yeah.
So that's the first time I remember seeing it, and then I remember it rerunning on television.
Yeah.
My favorite moment of the whole movie, which we'll get to in quite a while, but I always remembered them putting Alka-Seltzer in their mouths to simulate that they're mad dogs.
Yeah, that
basically.
they're foaming. Yeah.
Yeah.
My first time seeing it, this was like a regular staple at my house. My mom loves this movie.
Is it all the farts?
I don't know what it is.
Let's get her on the phone.
I mean, we could, but no, she always loved this movie. Anytime it was on TV, anytime like it was on cable, we always had it on. And I mean, we rented it several times from like Diamond Video, which was an old.
I remember Diamond. There were multiple Diamond videos. I remember
Troy had a really good one.
We had one by. We had one in the same shopping plaza as the Blockbuster and Hollywood Video that were right next to each other. We had a little Diamond Video in the corner, and I used to go there because my sister had a friend who worked there, and they rented WCW home videos, World Championship Wrestling home videos.
All right.
So I would go there and rent those bad boys, and then but it feels like in my brain that like 5 weeks later it was out of business. It wasn't literally, but it felt like that quick. Yeah.
No, like I mean, I've seen this movie so many times, and the scene that always sticks out to me is, and we'll get to that as well, is the scene when they have the tackle demonstration with Ed O'Neill's character.
Oh yeah. No, that's one of the height of the physical humor in this movie.
And speaking of our cast, we have Rick Moranis here, who plays Danny O'Shea. He started on Second City TV in 1980, goes to work in Twilight Theater in 82, then does Second City TV Network in 82. Night Flight in 82, Saturday Night Live in 1983, does the film Strange Brew in 83, Streets of Fire in 84, Ghostbusters in 84, The Wildlife, The Last Polka, Brewster's Millions, Club Paradise, Little Shop of Horrors, Spaceballs, Ghostbusters 2.
But anything memorable?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in 1989.
Now we're cooking. That's one we should do on the show. I adore Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
And I think we should do this next one too, Parenthood in 1989.
Never seen it.
Oh my God, it's so good. The Rocket Boy in 1989, My Blue Heaven, LA Story, Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, Splitting Heirs, The Flintstones, Little Giants, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, Sesame Street, Big Bully, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, Brother Bear, The Animated Adventures of Bob and Doug McKenzie, and he was on The Goldbergs in 2013.
When he was on the Goldbergs? I don't remember that.
I don't either. His character was, I think they said Black Helmet, so I think it was like a Spaceballs episode.
Oh, that's such a great use of the talents of Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Sorry, I love Rick Moranis. But so as I've gotten older, I have realized that as a kid, I had no appreciation for Ghostbusters because
Wow.
Ghostbusters is so much funnier for an adult.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There are jokes about interest rate loans, and my favorite jokes are Rick Moranis saying like, and the best part is all the food at my party is tax deductible as long as I invite clients instead of friends.
Yeah.
I love that line. As long as I invite clients instead of friends.
Okay, who brought the dog? He's got some of the best lines in that. So next in our cast, we have Ed O'Neill, who plays Kevin O'Shea. 70 credits on his resume, and also I had no idea of his work before Dutch and like all that other like. He has a lot of stuff in the 80s I had no idea about that I want to track
Because
down.
it all flopped?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, no disrespect to Mr. Ed O'Neill. He, not only is he in one of the most underrated films of all time, Dutch,
Yes.
which I really do think should be a classic,
And he'll be on the show.
but Ed O'Neill will not be on the show. Don't listen to Dave. No, but not only that, but Married with Children, obviously massive hit. And then he goes and like 15 years later ends up on another hit sitcom.
Yeah, Modern Family.
I mean, you really can't get a better career experience than Ed O'Neill in Hollywood.
So his first movie in 1980 is Cruising. He goes to do Day the Women Got Even in 1980 as well. Dogs of War 1980. Another World in 1980. When Your Lover Leaves in 83. He was on Miami Vice in 84. Hunter in 85. The Equalizer series in 85. Then he does The French Connection 3 in 1986 where he plays Popeye Doyle.
What?
It's a TV movie.
What?
Yeah. 1986, The French Connection 3. Ed O'Neill plays Popeye Doyle.
What? No, my mind is blown.
Yeah.
Good old Ed, box office Poison O'Neill.
So then he does Right to Die in 1987, scores Married with Children in 87 as well, Disorganized Crime in 1989, the movie I showed you.
Yes.
Then he does K-9 in 89, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane in 1990,
Our buddy Cappy's flick.
Sibling Rivalry in 1990, The Whereabouts of Jenny in 91, Dutch in 91. So yeah, Dutch was before this. Or before.
Oh, yeah,
Giants.
Dutch was in 91. Yeah.
Forgot about that.
I knew that.
I did not.
There's a lot you don't know.
Yeah, I'm aware. Wayne's World 92, Wayne's World 2 93, Blue Chips, Little Giants, Prefontaine, The Spanish Pioneer, The Bone Collector, The 10th
The
Kingdom.
Spanish Pioneer.
Yeah. Or
You mean the Spanish prisoner?
They could work for both.
Do you want me to take over the show and you go take a nap? Bud?
The Bone Collector, 1999, 10th Kingdom, 2000, Lucky Numbers, 2000, Nobody's Baby, 2001, Spartan, 2004, 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter in 2005, West Wing, 2005, Red Bull, Belt, Modern Family, 2009. My God. Wreck-It Ralph in 2012, Entourage movie 2015, Family Guy 2015, Finding Dory 2016, and he was in a movie called The Last Shift in 2020. He's done a couple things since then, but nothing major. He's mainly just done Modern Family as one of his biggest things. Of course.
And I mean, he's got to be up there in age. He's got to be in his 70s, right?
I believe so.
He has to, or at least he's about to be.
He's going to be close, yeah.
Yeah.
And then wrapping up our cast is Devon Sawa, who plays Junior. He started his career on Unsub in 1989. Sherlock Holmes Returns in 93. He did a bunch of Nerf commercials in 93.
I remember those.
Yep.
Those Nerf commercials were literally for my generation.
Yep.
They were like directly targeted at children my age.
You best believe they're all on YouTube too, because I pulled up a couple.
Oh, of course they are.
I thought I remembered one of them, and I totally did. Little Giants in 94. He does Casper in 1995. Now and Then 1995. Night of the Twisters 96.
I've heard that's a good one. I've never seen it.
Yep, I was the one that told you that, and it's on YouTube, and I think it's somewhere else too. I can't remember, but Night of the Twisters was an ABC family movie that played all the time, and it's pretty scary.
Well,
At least
that's
it was
good.
back then.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, you know. Robin and Loxley in 96, The Boys Club 96, Action Man 96, Wild America 1997, the Jonathan Taylor Thomas movie.
Man, how did JTT never really take off? He was such a big deal, and then
really
he wasn't.
Was. Yeah, no, he wasn't. SLC Punk in 96, Around the Fire 98, Idle Hands 99, Final Destination 2000, The Guilty 2000. He was in the Eminem music video for Stan in 2000 as well.
Oh, yeah.
Slackers 2002, Extreme Ops 2002. Remember Extreme Ops?
Nope.
That was like a cash-in off of XXX when they put out a bunch of those like extreme MXC
But that was all because of extreme sports.
Extreme sports,
Remember,
X Games,
the era
yeah.
of skateboards and Surge.
Yep. He does the Spider-Man cartoon 2003, Extreme Dating 2005, Devil's Den, NCIS LA, A Resurrection, Nikita, Exorcism of Molly Hartley, which was a movie I remember.
Wasn't Devil's Den? That was Jeff Burr.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Jeff did that one.
And Exorcism of Molly Hartley was one of those movies that was like, they sold it at Hot Topic. I remember that distinctly.
Of course you do.
And it's one I've never seen, but I've heard it's good, and I've also heard it's bad. And I really want to see it.
How could you not get a movie that was sold at Hot Topic? It's your two favorite things in one
Silent
place.
Night, Deadly Night. When it got re-released just by itself by Anchor Bay, they were carrying it at Hot Topic as well.
That's insane. I never heard that.
Yeah. Life on the Line in 2015, Punk's Dead, SLC Punk in 2016, Hawaii Five-0, The Fanatic in 2019.
I remember The Fanatic.
Because we watched it.
Yeah, it's something.
Disturbing the Peace 2020, MacGyver 2020, Hunter 2020.
Hunter, that's a film that if you have not seen it or heard about it, I can't ruin it for you because it's too good.
Oh my God.
But it is a solid indie drama thriller. Really fun, and the ending will leave your jaw on the floor.
Yeah.
Cannot recommend Hunter enough. And I love when a title doesn't seem to make sense, and by the end it does.
Yeah.
And Hunter makes sense.
Makes sense, yes. Then he was also in and executive produced Black Friday in 2021, the Bruce Campbell movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he actually produced it, or he got a split paycheck.
Got a split paycheck, probably.
But no, but Devon Sawa is the real deal banana peel.
And recently, he's on the Chucky series, which started in 2021.
I have got to watch
good.
the Chucky series.
I watched the first season. It's good.
Look at you. You're like, it's good. I haven't watched all of it at all, but it's good.
I wasn't against it when they announced it, but I was also just like, how is this going to work? And then,
well, you see, every week they release another episode until the season's over. That's how it works.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Right.
It's similar to other television shows.
What are television shows?
Look at you.
You ready to get into the movie?
I'm really curious what you're going to read inaccurately.
Oh, yeah.
Now. I'm getting excited. I was worried that I, being the one operating on no sleep, would be the weak link here.
My throat is getting raspy.
But you're really taking the bullet for me on this one.
You are so welcome, buddy. Missed you being off for a week.
Oh, goodness. Go on.
All right. So we see a Urbania water tower, and that is the town that we are in 1964, and we're in Ohio.
We are, but also the movie is.
The movie's in Ohio.
Yeah, and I found that hilarious because Urbania is one letter off from Urbana, Ohio, which is like up the highway.
Yeah.
Well, like really close to you, but like up the highway from me. So I always thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Too. It's Urbania, Ohio.
So we see the young O'Shea brothers. We have Danny and we have Kevin, and they're walking down the road as Danny tells his brother he's excited to spend the day with him. Kevin is not enthused.
No, Kevin is not. And I have to say, what a cruelness to have a casting director look at a little child and be like, you look like Ed O'Neill, you're in. The only thing crueler than that, looking at a little child and going, you look like Rick Moranis, you're in.
So Danny and Kevin hop the fence, and we see that Kevin is getting together with his friends to play football, and Kevin turns Danny down on joining and basically says, you're on the injured team, or you're on the injured list this time around, so he can't play. So Kevin tells him that, it's fine because he looks at the water tower and says, one day our names are going to be on that water tower. You just watch. 30 years passes immediately, and we see that it's become true, except it's just Kevin O'Shea.
And this is where we get into the meat of this show.
Yeah.
David, you asked me if I played sports.
Oh, no.
So what sports did you play, Razor?
As a little kid or as a teen? Oh, God. Growing up, I played soccer. I never played football, but I played soccer. I played baseball, and I ran track. Were basically my three. I really liked baseball, and I really liked track. Soccer, I did like 2 years of, and then that was enough. And I did karate once, but my mom had to basically drag me to karate practice every day because I never wanted to go.
Why were you afraid that one day you'd have to face Steven Seagal and you knew you wouldn't be able to beat him?
Maybe that was it. Or
you knew that would be the end.
Or the Cobra Kai would come in, yeah.
Oh, man. I made it to yellow belt at least.
Yeah, I got my yellow belt. I don't know where the hell it is.
That's so dishonorable. I have my yellow belt.
You still have it?
When you bow to your sensei, is that a lie?
I don't remember. I was like 5 or 6.
So was I. I was like 6. When you bowed to that sensei, you were lying. You had no respect.
I remember that I did not do well in that class, and the yellow belt would just kind of felt like a participation to me at that point.
Wow.
I'm just saying, I'm being honest.
You bowed to your opponent, you bowed to your sensei, and then you just like, I'll throw my belt in with some rotten banana peels.
I think I sold it at a garage sale, to be honest.
That's even worse. You can't sell a yellow belt. They're earned, David.
I don't know where it is. I don't know where it went. I just know I had it at one point. Because I remember I used to tie it around my head because Schwarzenegger did that in Jingle All the Way.
You have like zero respect for karate.
This was like 20 plus years ago, man.
So?
We see adult Kevin holding tryouts for Pee Wee football.
Hold on.
Okay.
We weren't done.
Oh, okay.
So I'm guessing old Long Legs Dave in his school never got picked last for any teams.
Dodgeball.
You got picked last for dodgeball?
Not often, but it happened several times. I still have memory. I think it was,
You're like, I don't have a lot of memories because, getting hit in the head by the dodgeballs.
Yeah, and trauma. Dodgeball I got picked last for a couple times, and I think, like, the one they always picked me first for was kickball, but that was usually around junior high school time. But yeah, in regards of elementary school.
You played kickball in high school?
And PE. When I had to take 1 year of PE because we had the option for summer gym, and I did it once, and then I still had to get one more credit. So
I like to imagine you were in remedial PE.
I was not in remedial PE.
I got picked last so many times that the gym teacher felt bad.
Oof.
When I was in elementary school. David, are you really going to wipe your face with your shirt?
Yes, I am. I'm sweating.
So, like, why don't you just wipe the sweat with your goddamn yellow belt and then you can spit in the country of Japan? How about that?
Why are we talking about my yellow belt still?
Because I can't believe you. Do you often bow to people and then go, JK, and then just, like, crap on their society?
Not that I recall, no. But again, I was also, like, 5.
You were a little shit is what you were.
Wanted to watch Power Rangers instead of going to karate, I can tell you that much.
It is the same thing.
Is it, though?
Yes! The reason you're at karate is because Power Rangers are so cool.
Yeah.
See, I was a kid who was such a loser. I thought Bruce Lee was cool, and I was mad because we couldn't find a kung fu dojo.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, God, I'm trying to remember what they've
I have my yellow belt. You know why? Because I made a pledge of honor.
I'm curious if I do have my yellow belt, actually.
He's trying to save face.
No, I'm more so just trying to think if I've seen it recently because I'm wondering if it's actually in my basement in my tub of shit from my bedroom.
Trying to save face.
Or it might be in the top of my closet at my parents' house.
Great dishonor.
Can we get back to the movie?
All I'm saying is I was picked last enough that my gym teacher in elementary school started letting me just opt to not play.
I'm sorry.
So bad for me.
I'm sorry I keep picking children's movies with sports in them.
What? I got a childhood. I'll talk about it. I ain't afraid. You're the one who gets uncomfortable when I talk about my brutal childhood.
We see adult Kevin holding tryouts for Pee Wee football, and it's a band of ragtag kids. We've got one scene where a kid gets tackled by Icebox, who is Danny's daughter, and the kid looks like he has a head wound. I love this. He looks like he has a head wound.
Yeah, it looks like there's blood coming out of his helmet.
Yeah.
But then it's revealed. Well, and of course he's a fat kid.
Yes.
And look, I know it's not nice, but in this era, he's a fat kid.
He's a fat kid, yes.
Sorry about you. He's a fat kid. And they reveal that he has a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a bag of Cheetos in his helmet.
And don't forget, the Cheetos are crunchy or puffs?
They're puffs. Yeah. He's like, oh, what a wimp.
So Icebox basically tackles him, and they reveal the helmet at that point. Icebox is the only girl on the team trying out right now, too. And that is Danny's daughter. Danny stops by to see Becky as she's getting into a fight with the kids because they've been intimidating the rest of the ragtags. There's a team there that has a lot more athletic durability.
Well, they're not a team. They're a group because they're trying out for the team.
Yeah. So he joins his family, which is Kevin's wife on the sidelines, and Becky calls out for her uncle that she's so proud of it. He calls the names of the team, but Becky and the other Misfits do not get picked.
Not a one. Not a single Melvin on the team.
Not a single one. He thanks them for trying out and says there's always next year.
Sorry, losers. I guess you'll just have to found Amazon or something because you're not playing football.
So Danny goes to try and comfort the kids, and he goes to talk to his brother as well because his brother is driving a nice Corvette, and he's just living life happy because they've got the team now, and he's going to take this team to a championship victory because that's one thing that I forgot to mention is that when he's giving his speech before he tells the kids, Becky calls him out on everything that he's going to say about his 3 championship victories, his Heisman Trophy that he got, and she's just naming them all right before he says them.
Yeah, because he was super successful, and he's turned it into a Chevy dealership in his hometown, which is a little sad.
So,
I mean, but I don't have a Chevy dealership, do you?
I don't have one, no.
You don't even have a yellow belt.
I don't have a yellow belt. God damn it.
You should have never told me that.
So Kevin states he only has 3 weeks to put together a team for the victory, and Danny says, well, you hurt their feelings as well, and what does winning have to do with this? It's peewee football.
You know what's terrible? So he says, like, this is good for them.
Yeah.
Because this teaches them, like, that you don't get what you want and stuff. I'm kind of on Ed O'Neill's side. It's actually good for these kids. It's good to experience rejection.
Yeah.
Because it weeds out the weak. So every kid that steps in front of a car and kills themselves...
Jesus.
What? No, but in all seriousness, it teaches you if you don't get picked for the team, then it teaches you that, like, either you really want it, so you're willing to wait a year and practice hard, or you didn't really want it that much. You were just kind of interested, like a kid who throws his yellow belt away.
My God, this is never gonna go away.
Not ever. For your birthday, I'm gonna get you like a missing sign for a yellow belt.
My God, I gotta find this yellow belt now.
Yeah, you do, and I'll know if you bought one on Amazon. I'll know. It better have the certificate of authenticity.
Write in Sharpie like a date.
It better have your sensei's certificate of authenticity on it.
So at Kevin's house, he's having dinner with his wife and his 2 girls, and Karen, his wife, questions why he didn't choose Becky, which is his niece, basically calling out for being a chauvinist.
Yeah, because she is a really good football. You know what? Baseball player. No, she's a very good football player.
Yeah.
They call her Icebox.
Icebox. So we cut over to Danny, who's trying to comfort Becky, telling her that, not being picked has freed her up for all this time for her to do something else, but Becky just wants to play football. That's when we cut to the clubhouse where the Misfits are, and 3 of the guys that made the team show up and start picking on the kids, and Icebox rolls up in a go-kart.
Yes, and she chases them down on their bicycles, causing them to wreck them in ways that I can only assume would maim, if not kill.
Well, let's see. We get one that goes into the river. We get one that gets hit with the antenna, like, because it has like a skunk tail or something on the end of it.
Yeah, she tickles his face with the antenna, and he wrecks.
And he crashes. And then the last one goes into the water, and he's like, why did you do that? And she's like, you're not as good as we are, because guess what? We're forming our own team, and my dad's running it.
We're forming our own team with blackjack and hookers.
So 2 Saturdays from today, or excuse me, she tells him that her dad is going to start the team. We cut to Kevin's car lot, which is O'Shea Chevrolet.
It rhymes.
It rhymes. And he leaves to go meet to the town elders at the diner. The mayor shows up telling him that he thought there was only 1 team in the league, and now he hears that there's 2. That's when Danny rolls up, and Becky is sitting in the side with him, and she's like, oh, by the way, Dad, I love you, bye. And runs
I started
off.
a team, bye.
Yeah. So
and you're our coach.
Kevin confronts him, and the kids are peeking at the door as Danny takes offense to Kevin, basically telling him that he can't coach. Like, he's not athletic. He doesn't know how to win. He doesn't know how to win a game or coach kids, for that matter.
Yeah, and if anything, he can barely tie his own shoes, let alone keep a woman around.
Rude.
Where's the mom?
She ran off.
My point exactly. You know where the mom is right now? With your yellow belt somewhere that no one will ever find. That's where she is.
So the kids are peeking at the door, and they're watching Danny, and Danny stands up for him, telling him that he's going to form a team, and he's going to coach it, and they're going to have a playoff game 2 Saturdays from today, and whatever team wins is going to be the one that represents the town for the league.
And that is when we begin our ragtag group of misfits.
Yes.
And what we get is a funny, wholesome, but substantially less violent Bad News Bears.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, man. You know what we should totally cover, which no one would expect in a million years? The Billy Bob Thornton Bad News Bears, which I love that one.
I'd be down.
Because it is, if you think kids getting hurt is funny, that movie's for you.
I more so love the fact that their team gets sponsored by the strip club.
Oh, it's all good.
It's so good.
It's all no. They were like, hey, we own the rights to Bad News Bears. But Bad Santa did real good, and it had the word bad in it, too. So let's. I'm gonna go do cocaine, and that's what the studios thought.
So Becky hugs Danny, and the kids cheer as they start forming their team. We see Danny talking to Newbie, and he's like a computer whiz kid chess player, and he's gonna have him figure out the plays that they're gonna run.
Yes, which is too bad because I was hoping it was gonna be like playing dangerous, and it was be like, can you make some kind of poison that'll make the kids crap themselves in the middle of the field so we can win? Which honestly would have been smarter.
It would have been smarter. So we see the kids start forming. It's a really cute scene. They're walking the train tracks, and it's a little bit of a montage as they pick up the kids one by one. There's one kid that's outside his house, and his dad's leaving all the time.
That one breaks my heart.
Johnny, I think his name is.
I spent a lot of time alone as a kid, and basically he's a latchkey kid.
Yeah.
So his dad is always going away on business, and he's always left all by himself.
Yeah.
And this is an opportunity for him to do something other than, watch TV and microwave craft dinners.
Yeah. And they pull in a bunch of kids at this point, and they show like a montage of them all trying the monkey bars, which they're all failing. And one of the best parts is there's like a pile of 5 of them.
Yeah, they all fall on top of each other, and then last up, the fat kid.
Yep. And of course, they do the classic 90s fart sound because you get that throughout this entire movie.
Every scene the fat kid is in, pretty much he farts.
Guaranteed fart sound. So Icebox and the kids are at the grocery store, and that's when they see a kid who is throwing rolls of TP into a shopping cart all the way across in the aisle. And they take notice of him, and that kid is Junior, and we see that Icebox starts to have a crush on him as well. And it's revealed because she's climbing up an aisle, and the shelf comes backwards and like completely topples over.
Yes. And all I could think as he was throwing individual rolls of toilet paper into the cart is how much more expensive it is if you buy them one by one instead of getting a multi-pack.
That is true.
Like, that is wasteful. I mean, that is just wasting your money.
So Icebox and Danny go to Junior's house, and it's a super cute scene because Danny realizes that Icebox is shy about Junior because she has a crush on him, and then he finds out that Junior's mom is a girl that he had a crush on in school as well.
Which is great because that means that if they end up together, then it becomes, hey, step bro, I'm stuck.
Not wrong. Not wrong. So we see Junior throwing passes the kids, and of course, none of them can catch the ball. And Jake shows up in these wrapped in these pads. Jake is a kid who, like, his mother's super protective, but she also wants him to get out and do stuff.
Yeah, he's highly protected. He has tons of allergies. He was a troublesome pregnancy, and the way they introduce him is he has this giant snot bubble. He's just, and I love how she's like, sorry, we're late. I had to take him to the doctor. He sneezed three times this morning, and you can't be too careful. Did you have that friend? I had that friend.
I don't think I had that.
Oh, I had the sickly friend.
I think I had one in elementary school, but now I can't.
Oh, man, I totally had the pale friend whose mom was always doting.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, and then he died.
Jesus.
I'm kidding.
Oh, God.
No, he's fine. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen him in 40 or 30 years, but
So Jake shows up wrapped in foam.
Dave.
Wrapped in foam.
Dave's face.
Just wrapped in foam.
No, he's wrapped in carpet foam.
Like carpet foam.
Like he can barely drop his arms down.
And they start pushing him around in the huddle, and they accidentally push him against the goalpost, so he slams his face. And then we see that the town elders are betting over the game. They're all getting in on this.
I like it. You say town elders like they're sitting in robes going what will happen? They're just old guys.
It's Orville and Wilbur, I think, are their names, if I'm not mistaken. I wrote it down.
No way.
I wrote it down.
That's hilarious if that's their names.
Exactly
Orville and
Wilbur.
Orville and Wilbur.
Orville and Wilbur.
I mean, they're in Ohio.
Yep.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
So they're betting on the game, and the kids try to practice a huddle, and they don't get into a big fight. Junior throws to Icebox, who finally catches a ball, and Danny has them then switch from throwing the football to TP to get them to practice catching because it actually takes off really well, and every kid starts catching the TP roll.
Yeah, they're less afraid of the roll of toilet paper.
Yeah. So Icebox keeps tackling Junior, and we can kind of see they're flirting a little bit.
Well, for the record, real quick.
Yeah.
It's amateur hour.
Oh, yeah.
No. To throw the TP to teach them to catch it because they're not afraid of the TP.
Yeah.
That's totally not a wise way to do it. What you do is you send the kids home and tell them they have to wipe their asses with a football.
Well, that's the joke is because they...
Oh, yeah. When he hands him he hands him a football, just go put this in the bathroom. No, but it's really cute that they're catching TP.
It's super cute. So we see Kevin training his team at home, and Karen, his wife, is standing in front of a window holding a couch cushion that has a cardboard football player on it, and the kids are just not nailing this at all. So Kevin decides that he's going to show them how it's done, scares Karen as he starts charging at her, and one of the funniest scenes we see Ed O'Neill grab the cushion, go through the window, revealing...
she steps aside.
Steps aside, grabs the cushion, goes through the window, revealing they're on the second floor.
Which... they're in a living room.
I
Why
know.
is their living room on the second floor? I guess it's a den or something.
Falls on a tree branch, bags himself, and then falls into a swimming pool.
Into an above ground pool
Yep.
right outside. Yeah. The moment he went through the window, I was like, second floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very funny.
So at Danny's, he introduces the Little Giants to all their parents as they're showing off. They've got, they're doing their thing and showing the whole team, and all the parents are celebrating and recording. And Junior goes to leave with his mom, and as Patty goes to thank him, we kind of get to see that Moranis may or may not make a move on Patty sometime.
Oh yeah.
So at Kevin's, his family is repeatedly watching the video of him going out the window because they were recording that as it happened.
Oh yeah, they're like, I can't wait for Bob Saget to voice over this.
And that's when his daughter Debbie tells him that it's not just the Misfits because Junior is now on the team and he's got an arm.
Yes, he does. And a lot of other body parts that the girls seem to be crazy about.
So we see Kevin and his assistant Butts spying on the Little Giants as Newbie informs him they've got spies. So then Rick Moranis and one of the kids go over to a phone, and Moranis fakes calling as an 86-year-old woman who is reporting guys spying on children in just their underwear.
Yeah, with no pants on. Oh, it's very funny. And as he's going like, there are men watching, he has one of the youngest kids go,
Please come.
It's so good. The only part that's unrealistic is they didn't get shot.
They did not get shot.
Yeah, that should have been that way.
The cops sworn them, and then we see a newspaper that says state local hero arrested, and Karen jokes with Kevin that, I didn't know I was dating such a hardened criminal and that everything's going crazy right now, reminding him this all could be avoided if he just would have formed one team.
Just one team to rule them all.
And that's when Kevin tells her, there's no fun now. This is war.
I hope they all learn a valuable lesson, but what are the odds they would?
Who would say, We see he stepped up the training for the Cowboys, and Danny is doing the same with the Giants. Jake makes it across the monkey bars finally and gets a huge round of applause from the entire team. They pick him up and then end up dropping him accidentally.
Whoops.
The Giants have a car wash to raise money for the new uniforms, and Butts rolls up trying to intimidate them, and Rick Moranis ain't playing with that, so he just has the team douche him with water.
Well, first of all, he pulls up and basically says, like, these kids are worthless.
Yep.
These kids are so bad. If I was a mother duck, I would
lead them to water to drown.
I would lead them to water and drown them. So his response is like, you deserve a free car wash. And they just start spraying him and dousing him. But at that point, there's an issue.
What's that?
Which is Ed O'Neill's character's daughter, who is a cute blonde cheerleader of the same age as everybody else,
Debbie,
is now talking to the Devon Sawa character.
Yeah.
And they're flirting and stuff because Icebox obviously doesn't really understand how to flirt.
Nope.
She's kind of at odds with the idea that she's a girl.
Yeah.
The femininity element. So she's like, Icebox doesn't get crushes.
Yeah.
But then he walks by and she's like, woo.
Well, and they've been flirting a little bit in practice, and they flirt a little bit at the car wash.
Right.
Then Debbie starts and goes talk to him, and she sees that like they have attraction basically.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're flirting a little bit.
Yeah.
So now she's feeling the big green monster.
Well, and she also is wearing the cheerleader uniform that she got for the game for the Cowboys.
Yes, because she's going to cheer for her dad's team, of course.
So Becky watches her flirt with Junior. We see Becky putting on makeup and practicing a cheer before she's caught by her dad, and he's like, are you wearing makeup? And she's like, no, cherry
Lipstick.
Tootsie Pop.
Are you wearing lipstick?
Yeah.
Oh, it's cherry Tootsie Pop, yeah.
And that's when Orville and Wilbur call Danny and Kevin both simultaneously and tell them that a new family moved in, the Hammersmiths, and they've got a kid that is built for their team, but they're basically pitting them against each other to see who's going to get this kid first.
It's basically Terminator 2. It's just a question of who would reach him first.
Who would reach him first?
Da-da-da-da-da.
So we see Danny and Kevin leave, and we have Danny driving, of course, the go-kart, and Kevin's in his nice Corvette. And they pull up beside each other at a stoplight. They start going, and he's like, wait, are you following me? No. Are you following me? No. And then that's when they realize that they are racing.
And it should be mentioned, Moranis and Ed O'Neill have really good chemistry.
No, they really do. And Moranis, I love Moranis in this role because, like, even though he is like the leader of the ragtags, like he doesn't mess around. Like he wants to support these kids and also will stand up for them.
Right. No. It's definitely, but the movie is as much as it has a sweet kind of family message.
Yeah.
The movie's really about how adults live through children.
This is true.
And it's kind of sad.
This is also true.
Because Moranis is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
The reason he's fighting for these kids is he's actually standing up for himself when he was 8 years old.
He wants to show off his brother, yeah.
Which is a little sad.
Yeah.
I mean, so when you played sports,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, were your parents like really into you playing or no?
So, my parents were into me playing, but Erica, my sister, was the sports nut in the family, basically. Like, she played basketball in high school and played soccer in high school and all that stuff. And my mom has may or may not have been ejected from a game because of her excitement, we'll call it.
Drunkenness.
Not drunkenness, no. But she's gotten very, very close to being ejected from a basketball game and a soccer game, if I remember correctly.
Well, that answers that.
So Danny and Kevin are now racing, and we end the race in front of an oncoming train that the Corvette gets stopped by, and then Rick Moranis goes right in front of the train and like misses it by a second.
Because he's in a go-kart,
yeah.
So he's got the maneuverability advantage.
Yeah. So Danny arrives at the Hammersmiths, and Mike, the dad, introduces Danny to Spike, but Mike is also thinking that Danny is Kevin. Like, he actually talks about the Heisman pose and talks about the billboard pose and all this stuff. And that's when he introduces him to Spike. And we meet Spike by Spike coming out of a moving truck carrying a fridge on his back.
Yes, and this kid is built like a brick shithouse.
Yeah. And
he talks about how the kid has been headbutting a football since he was 4 months old, laying on the ground.
Did a pull up at 1 month old or something like that?
No, it was like 14 months, which is still insane.
Still insane.
And then he puts his arm over it, and the kid does pull-ups on his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the kid is just like made of meat.
Yeah.
And my favorite sideline is when he leans into the coach and he goes, "I massage his Achilles tendons every night with evaporated milk."
Yes.
That friggin' killed me with evaporated milk. It's so funny.
So Danny welcomes Spike to the Giants, and Spike says that I'm in peewee hell. Spike's in peewee hell because Spike loves to talk in the third person when we first meet him.
Yes, he is in many ways, he is like the Queen of England.
So it gets worse because Icebox introduced herself, and Spike says, Spike doesn't play with girls, especially a Berserko Barbie girl.
Yeah, I like that he calls her you Berserko Barbie doll.
And Becky isn't pleased with this, and she basically sees that her dad is bringing Spike on the team so they can win, and now it's not so much about, them just having fun. He's literally
it's not
trying.
about them getting to play. It's now about whoever we get as long as they win.
Yeah.
And that kills the spirit of the little Giants.
Yes.
So now she's had enough. She goes off to a diner where she's sitting by herself, not eating her food that's sitting in front of her.
Nope.
And then her uncle comes in.
Yep. Kevin comes in and he tries to tell her, be easy on your dad. He's trying to do what's best and everything. And she's just not really buying into his philosophy at this point because she knows that it's literally just about them two. And that's when she decides to ask him, does Debbie like Junior? And he's like, well, what do you think? And that's when Icebox asks, as Kevin's leaving, do you think I'm pretty? This was when we had the joke about.
Yeah, because he goes, no. And we were like, what if he just left? But no, then he turns around. It's a nice moment, though. He turns around and he says, you're beautiful.
You're beautiful. Which
is a very sweet moment. And they establish a few times that while there is a silly rivalry, that his family... they are a family. Like, she spends time at her uncle's house and stuff like that. No mother, because Moranis just really blew it. But
well, and I think also one of the things in this scene I love is that, he breaks it down to her. I mean, he's trying to get her off the team, in my opinion, for this scene.
No, he's being manipulative a bit. But I think the reason he's so good at it is I think he legitimately believes that she's better off not playing football.
Yeah. Because that's what she says. The thing about Debbie is, is Debbie interested in Junior? What do you think? And he's like, Junior's a guy. He's not interested in somebody that he plays sports with.
He's not interested in a teammate. He's interested in a cute girl.
Maybe a cheerleader. So Kevin tells Junior that she's... Oh, my God, I lost my place.
Yeah, you did.
Kevin tells her that Junior is going to want a cute girl, not his teammate. And at the Giants practice the next day, Spike is just causing havoc. But it's interrupted as Mike, his dad, rolls up with Kevin, telling Spike that he's a cowboy now because they figured out that he completely swindled him. And even Mike confronts him, and he's like, hey, did you think you pulled a fast one on me? And Moranis is like, hey, I said I was Coach O'Shea. I never said I was my brother.
Yeah. I mean, that might hold up in some courts.
Yeah. So the Giants start fighting because Junior goes to quit because they all think that Junior's the highlight of the team. And Icebox gets called out for flirting with Junior. And now she leaves the team as well. And then the team just leaves practice. So everybody leaves practice, leaving Moranis in the middle of the field. And that's when we see one of the Giants riding home on his bike, and a bus rolls past him, and off the bus steps John Madden.
Here's the guy who, when he puts his contact lenses in, he can see better.
And the best thing is that they do the classic John Madden because he pulls out a map and he's like, hey, kid, we were right here, and then we went right here, and then we went right here.
And we need to hit Canton, and we got to hit Canton hard. Boom, boom.
And so that's when they reveal that not only is John Madden on this bus, but Steve Entman, Bruce Smith, Emmett Smith, and Tim Brown, former players of the NFL, and we see the players now helping the kids find their confidence. They're showing them how to do intimidation. They're going over the plays.
But not a single Super Bowl shuffle.
Not a single Super Bowl shuffle at all. Oh, my God.
Disappointing.
And that's when we see Nudie reveal that he has a play called the annexation of
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, thank you.
White boy.
And Madden and him are going over it, and he's like, it's actually your play. I just changed this and this. And then Madden goes, well, what if you changed this and this? And he's like, I never thought of that.
It's really a cute thing, and the football players like trying to encourage the kids to intimidate and to try to tackle them. Because I made that joke when the kids all run at one of the football players and knock him down. I made that joke where I was like, "Oh, my quad! I ripped my quad!" It's just like, well, that career's over.
And Madden ends by saying, because Moranis goes to me, he's like, do you have any advice? And he's like, just go out and give it your best, reminding them that they're a team, they're like a family, except you have to hit each other.
Well, his first thing when he said, "Do you have any advice?" is he just says, "Good luck."
Good luck.
And he's like, that's it? He's like, all you can do is go out there and give your best, give your all, the music crescendos, and then boom, tough acting to acting.
So good. So the Giants are reunited now, and we see Kevin talking to his team and getting them ready for the big day tomorrow. Meanwhile, on the riverbank, Becky is watching a young couple kiss out in a boat, and Junior rolls up commenting on, oh man, that's so disgusting. And they get into a little cute conversation about kissing, and Becky says, there's got to be passion, like Kevin Costner in Robin Hood, referencing Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Which made us both lose our... It's not often in any feature film that you hear someone say, like in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner. You just don't hear that.
No. So Becky tells Junior that she wants to learn how to kiss, and Junior's a bit weirded out. And, he goes through, when he wants to learn, but he doesn't know who he wants to learn how to kiss and who to kiss with. But he tells Icebox that she's the coolest, not the cheerleader type, and that he's happy to have her on the team.
Yep. So she blew it.
And the only type who could beat up his dad. I do love that line.
Oh, yeah. No, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
We see Becky go to Kevin's house asking if Karen is home. He welcomes her in. And then we see Icebox returning home, and she goes to Danny, who is practicing his calls in the mirror, like calling out to the ref, like, you call that a call?
He's literally rehearsing like really angry arguments with the referee. Like said, how about I take you off the field and stuff? It's like, it's really cute and fun.
So Becky comes in carrying a box, and Danny wants to know what's in it. And that
what's in the box?
That upsets Becky too when he calls her his little fullback, because Becky tells him that she remembers how her mom used to call her a little princess and wrap her in a blanket. And this kind of takes Danny aback a bit, because he's like, you remember that? And she's like, yeah, I do. And Becky tells him that she's not going to play the game tomorrow.
Well, she basically makes the decision, which is bizarre, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's bad writing, but she basically makes the decision that now he's the reason she's playing football.
He's the reason, yeah.
And he's the reason she's been growing up like a boy.
Yeah.
And she should be this way instead. So she's kind of just shifting all the blame onto him because she's mad at him, and she's mad that she's not getting the guy that she wants. She's basically, from the beginning, you have to feel for her.
Yeah.
From the beginning of the film, Icebox is getting nothing she wants.
No.
She doesn't make the team. Her mom is gone. Now she forms her own team. Her dad kind of co-ops it and takes it away from her. She meets a guy, another girl gets. Icebox is really like a tragic character.
No, she is.
For a child.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sad character for a kid's movie.
Well, and the scene wraps up because she says, the game means everything in the world to you, but I don't mean anything to you. She throws the box down, revealing a cheerleader outfit with pom-pom. So she has completely quit the team at this point.
And decided to become a cheerleader, and in typical sports movie fashion, they assume you could just be a cheerleader the next day for the first time.
No cheers.
It must be that easy. If anybody out there's a cheerleader, what you do is that easy.
So the night before the big game, we see all the Giants practicing their intimidation. There's one-arm pull-ups, which we reveal that one of the kids is standing
on a box with a trash can upside down on top of it to get him high enough. Oh, it's so good.
One kid is getting tucked into bed, and his dad's like, don't think about the game tomorrow, and he's got his cleats on.
Yeah, he pulls his blanket up and reveals dirty cleats.
And we also see that Johnny's dad is unfortunately going to be leaving, and he's going to miss the game, so Johnny is going to be playing with no one there to watch him.
Well, and one thing I picked up from Johnny is that he's not telling his dad any of the stuff, because he just assumes, like, no matter what, his dad's just going to leave anyway, so what does it matter? which is very sad.
It is.
The Johnny character really does like punch my heartstrings pretty hard.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time alone as a kid. I get it. So it definitely like kind of hit me hard now. Even as a kid, it hit me pretty hard.
Totally understand. And let's not forget the weirdest moment of this. The cops say goodnight to the town.
Yeah, the police are driving through the neighborhood over their loudspeaker. They're like, good night, everybody. And good luck on the game to both teams tomorrow. And all I could think was like, do they every night go, good night, everybody? Remember, if you break curfew, we shoot on sight.
So game day comes now, and we see the Cowboys in their locker room as Kevin brings in Father Kelly, a local priest, in to say a prayer for their victory, but it's interrupted as the Giants just start taunting them from the other locker room through the vent, and they're screaming Giants. They're taunting Spike, and of course Spike is like, his dad's like holding him back like a rabid beast.
Yeah, no, he's literally holding him back like a Rottweiler that's been tormented its whole life.
And so Danny comes in with their new uniforms. Icebox enters then in full cheerleader attire, wishing them a great game as the team then realizes that that she's not going to be playing, and they all start to say that they're going to die without Icebox out there.
And it makes sense. They probably will die.
They probably
but
will.
At least you know that the local police care. Both teams have a great time. Everybody have a good game. Remember, we shoot on sight if you break curfew. Thank you.
So at this point, Danny then decides to break the tension and show them their uniforms, but the Giants still aren't into it because one of my favorite lines from Jake at that point is he says the thing in regards to oh man, so now we have ways that they can identify our bodies because they have their names on the back.
The names on their jerseys will let them identify their bodies. It's very good dark humor right there.
So both teams take the field, and we see the Cowboys rip through their sign, and they take the field, and then the Giants do not rip through their sign.
No, they bash into it and all fall over on top of each other.
Yes.
Which I just imagine that they forgot you should score the sign. Put little rips into it.
Have you ever seen the clip that was on Tosh.0 of the cheerleader she was rolling out the sign and gets completely like trampled by the football team as they go out?
No, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, it's bad. So both teams take the field now. Danny and Kevin get into a fight as they're doing the coin toss, and that goes onto the mic because they have the mic out there. And somehow, one way or another, the gas station gets pitted against the dealership, and winner takes all.
Yeah, so now they're involving like severe all stakes gambling.
Yeah,
as if there wasn't enough pressure on these poor kids.
So the Giants start by kicking off to the Cowboys. The kick is blown as the ball gets possessed by the Cowboys in no time, and all the kids hold on to Spike, but he is no match, getting a touchdown and knocking him all the way back, one of the kids all the way back to second grade because he wakes up and he's like, did I pass the test, Miss Sterling? And they're like, oh my God, they knocked him back to second grade.
Yeah. And he's like dented into the ground.
Yes.
There's like a body-shaped hole in the ground.
So now it's 7-0 on the scoreboard with the Cowboys leading. We see the Giants in possession of the ball, running a play called Three Little Pigs. Tad takes the ball as the Cowboys swarm him, and of course he's telling the ref, blow the whistle, blow the whistle.
Yeah, every time the Little Giants get the ball, they're literally running for their lives.
Yeah, they are. So Spike scores another touchdown. It's now 14-0 with the Cowboys. One of the Giants tries to put tar on his hands to catch the ball, but he goes to clamp his hands at the end of the huddle, and his hands stick together. So now he can't catch anything. He gets tackled, and he's laying down there. He's like trying to like get his hands up, and they're still stuck. So halftime, it's now 21-0. The Giants then march in the locker room, and they're defeated. So Kevin goes to Danny, and he's like, let's call the game off. Like, the kids have had enough. And Danny tells him, hey, it's not over yet. So the Giants tell Danny in the locker room that they do not want to continue. Some of them want to be put on the injured list. Some of them want to forfeit. And Danny tells them that, you know what? You guys belong out there. Because I belong out there with my brother, just like you guys belong out there playing too. And he goes on to tell them that one time is all it takes for something special to happen. And that's when all the kids kind of have a really cute moment of like talking about like the times that they either outdid their older siblings or did something in regards to the family that surprised them. It's a really cute moment.
And that's why he's like, one time is all that matters. One injection of anabolic steroids.
What is this, Space Jam?
Yeah.
So tells them about one time how he beat Kevin on his bike, and that inspires the kid, and that they think that something special is going to happen now. And Danny reminds them that they play football because it's fun. It doesn't matter if they win.
See, and that's what it really should be about. But at the same time, victory tastes so good.
Damn right it does.
Delicious victory.
So the Giants take the field again, revitalized, and now they're intimidating the Cowboys. With possession of the ball, the Giants gain a yard on the play, and Junior catches a pass, making their longest gain, and they finally get their first down.
Yes, whatever that means.
So Tad gets the ball and he's running, but he stops as a cowboy leaps. As two cowboys leap at him, and they land right into all the Gatorade and knock it over. Which one of them? Spike, of course.
Yeah, they knock the whole table over and everything. It's very violent.
And of course, Tad stops at this point, and Moranis goes, "Tad, run!" So he runs, scoring the Giants' first touchdown. And Kevin turns to find Karen celebrating in the stands. And then he's like, "Really?" And so Karen's like, "All right, I'll sit down." So then the Giants get a field goal just barely as they kick the ball, and it just inches over the back of the field goal.
It hits the thing, but then goes over.
Topples over it. So now the score is 7-21. The Giants then kick to the Cowboys, and they tackle the Cowboys, but Spike commits a personal foul after the tackle, and he gets a personal foul. Kevin then confronts Mike, his dad, telling him that if he does that again, he's going to take Spike out of the game. And Mike's like, "I thought you wanted to win this thing." And Kevin, in a good moment, goes, "Not like that."
So, as a not sports person,
yes,
he committed a personal foul.
Personal foul.
I didn't see a chicken.
My God.
So how does that, is it a figurative bird?
It's a figurative bird. We'll call it a figurative bird this time.
Okay, I got a figurative bird for you later.
So Kevin confronts Mike, telling him if he does that again, he's out of the game. Becky, now taunted by Spike, goes to the locker room and dons her jersey, and now Icebox is back on the field. And Danny, says Becky, and she's like, "Call me Icebox." She goes to Junior and tells him to call her Becky.
My favorite thing is that she just puts on her
jersey.
So she's still in a skirt.
In her cheerleader outfit.
Just friggin' plowing through these sumbitches, which I just thought was a perfect balance of nah, she's a girl, she's gonna whoop your butt though.
Yeah. So Becky takes the field, tackling the Cowboys and getting under Spike's skin. Danny notices that Johnny's dad has arrived at the game, so he sets up a personal play for him to pitch the ball to Johnny, which is hilarious because Johnny's in the huddle and he's like, "My name's Johnny. Don't give the ball to me. I'm Johnny."
Wait, I'm Johnny. No.
So then they get the ball to Johnny, and that's when Danny tells him to run for the field goal, and that's when he sees that Johnny's dad has arrived, and he sees his dad, and he starts taking off to the goalpost in probably one of the sweetest scenes of the movie, scoring a touchdown right into his father's arms.
And they don't establish why his dad's there, but I'd like to think that Moranis called his dad.
That's
and was like, "Hey, tomorrow's really important to your son. Did you even know about it?" And he probably was like, "No, I'll reschedule my flight."
Yeah.
That's what I like to think is why it happened.
So that brings the score to 14-21, and the Cowboys now get possession, and they start running the ball as Jake makes a tackle after being taunted, causing his mom to cheer. And when I say his mom cheers, she's talking to this guy, and she's like, "Our family's just so much better since Jake started playing sports." Jake makes that tackle, and she's like, "Yeah, get him!"
Well, but she's yelling mean things the way child comedy writers do. So she's like, "Rip their ears off!"
Yeah. So Jake makes the tackle, his mom cheers, and Jake gives the Giants Alka-Seltzer, telling them that it'll make them foam at the mouth for intimidation. And boy, does it.
Oh, that's what, like I said, my most memorable moment is when they all look like mad dogs.
Yes. So they're all stacked up for the play, foaming at the mouth. And the next play, they throw to Heyman, who sees the football as teepee as it's coming to him. And like in practice, he makes the pass, scoring another touchdown for the Giants, leaving 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the fourth. And the score is now tied 21-21.
Yep. And that means something.
Yes, it does. So the Cowboys take the ball as Spike charges the end zone, nearing a touchdown, but Patty reminds Danny of a play that Kevin made in one of his championships. So Patty, which is, of course, Junior's mom, reminds him of a play, and that's when they realize that Kevin is running a play that he had made a winning touchdown for the championship. And the Giants then all decide to game up on Spike, revealing to Kevin that they know the play that he's running.
But right at the last moment.
Right at the last moment. So Spike goes off with the ball, and many of the Giants in pursuit. He tries to dive, but is slammed to the ground by Icebox, and it's the Giants' ball as Spike didn't make it across the line, and there's 4 seconds left, and the game is still tied. So the Giants decide that they're going to run the annexation of Puerto Rico.
About damn time. They've been saying it 20 damn times in the film.
Because Danny tells the kids, we got this game, and they're like, what, we got 4 seconds left. We could win. So
longest 4 seconds I've ever seen.
Longest 4 seconds, you're not wrong.
I mean, I know that in football, it seems like 4 seconds is a long time.
Yeah.
Because there's starts and stops and starts and stops. But this is a solid 2 minute 4 seconds.
So Becky fakes having the ball as they take the line, and Spike tackles her, thinking that he's got it, but she reveals that she doesn't, and that's when it's revealed that the Giants are all passing the ball to each other and running. And as Jake scores the winning touchdown in the game after making a pass, and he catches it, the crowd goes wild with celebration as Patty even shares a kiss with Danny, who asks her out to dinner. And that's the answer he gets.
Which means it's going to be awkward if his daughter starts dating the son.
Karen, Kevin's wife, leads a Giants chance right in front of Kevin, who accepts it. And Danny offers to have the Giants merge with the Cowboys so they can have one town, one team. And that's
a team with like 38 kids on it.
And that's when Kevin's like, are you really going to keep this bet? And he's like, no. I'm not going to put my brother out. I'll start you off at this dealership in a real nice position.
Yeah, I'll start you off commissions only. And we'll see where we go from there.
And that's when Kevin asks him, how can we end this? How can we make this okay? And he's like, there is one way. And we look up to the water tower where we see Kevin O'Shea on it. And he's like, I've got it. And that's when it pans over and we see the O'Shea brothers. And that, my friends, is the Little Giants from 1994.
And the choice, the only thing I really don't like about this movie, although it is very telling, is that's the end of the film.
That's the end of the film.
So we get almost no resolution of like the kids being happier or being or having a new friend group or like the mean kids becoming friends with the other kids.
Yeah.
None of that. It's just the brothers are done fighting.
Yeah.
So it really is just about the adults.
It 100% is.
Yeah, which I find extremely funny and kind of sad.
You're not wrong. So as we wrap up, would you like to know some fun facts about the movie?
As long as they're fun.
Some of them are. So the budget was estimated to be about $20 million.
What?
This was released on October 16th of 1994. What do you think it took in opening weekend?
What about this movie cost $20 million? You
gotta guess the NFL players. I don't know. $20 million is the estimated budget.
I'm okay. I'm going to guess it flopped bad.
So $4,778,000 is what it grossed, or what it took in opening weekend, but it did end up grossing $19 million worldwide, so it was still not a...
No, it's a flop.
It's a flop. It's a flop.
Yeah, it's a flop.
So the movie was inspired by an early 90s McDonald's ad about peewee football that ran during the Super Bowl in, I'm guessing, 92 or 93. The day it aired, Steven Spielberg liked it so much that he called up the ad creators, James Ferguson, and hired him to write the script.
That explains a lot. I mean, about the fact that they keep saying Big Mac all the time?
Yeah.
And Quarter Pounder all the time? No, about why it's his only movie credit, because he was an ad person.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Devon Sawa was 15 during filming and much taller than his 10-year-old castmates, so he can only be seen wearing socks in some scenes.
I get that.
Dunham was removed as director after shooting 2/3 of the film. He fell behind during the football game sequences. Brian Levant was brought in for the last few weeks to finish the football sequence using his DP, Rexford L. Metz.
Okay.
Gary Busey and Randy Quaid were originally cast for the leads.
Wait, that's made up.
That's on IMDb.
It's made up, because you can't have both. For those who are like, what? If you know who Gary Busey is, you have to.
Yeah.
Randy Quaid is Cousin Eddie. Randy Quaid is Cousin Eddie from the National Lampoon movies.
Yep.
So you're talking about two of the most insane actors.
In a children's movie.
But like in comedy, you need a straight man and a funny guy.
You're not wrong. No, you're not wrong. Like, when I read that, I was like, I want that movie.
I think that's made up. I don't know if I believe that one.
Who would play who? You think Busey would be...
That's the problem, is I can't even try to figure it out.
I mean, okay, so having seen Eye of the Tiger, Busey did play pretty straight in that.
No. But this is 1994 Busey and Quaid.
That's true.
That's my point. To me, it's very obvious. Quaid would play Moranis' character.
Yeah, he's got to.
And because Quaid is... For all the jokes about how crazy Quaid is, he's pretty good at playing like a person who gets humbled.
Yeah.
Even Cousin Eddie, there were a lot of moments where he would kind of, get really serious and be like, well, Clark, this and that and this and that. So, I mean, to me, that's obvious. But then there's the other part, which is like Quaid's a giant. Like he'd be taller than Busey.
Taller, yeah.
So I don't know. That just...
And also like the racing scene, the go-kart in the car, like that scene would be next level.
Busey!
So Ed O'Neill agreed to play Kevin so that his 2 young daughters could watch something he starred in that was family-friendly. At the time, still popular for Al Bundy on Married with Children. His children were also fans of Rick Moranis, so that was another reason he took the role.
But they weren't fans of Dutch.
They weren't fans of Dutch, apparently. Spielberg originally wanted Chris Columbus to direct the film as they had collaborated previously on Gremlins and the Goonies. Columbus, however, was busy with his screenplay for 9 months and couldn't commit. And
I like how Spielberg... Oh, yeah, they had... Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of something else.
You're fine. And then Columbus also got a little butthurt because apparently he had done a draft of Last Crusade, and Spielberg had not said some nice things about it, and then they never worked together again after that.
Well, I mean, at some point, luckily he got hooked up with Hughes for a while and then kind of got set up from there. But Chris Columbus, I could see this being something he would do well.
Oh, yeah.
But, wow, yeah. Ugh.
Craig T. Nelson originally was offered the role of Kevin, but turned it down as he was already on Coach and didn't want to play the same part.
Yeah, I think that's wise on Craig T. Nelson's part.
Bob Saget was considered for the role of Danny, but was filming TV movie Father and Scout and couldn't commit to the role. And also, he was going to be doing AFV during the summer, so when it ran longer, it would have been a problem as well.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting choice.
Due to the film's tight schedule, Ed O'Neill would simultaneously film episodes of Married with Children while finishing the film. Filming was to conclude before summer hiatus from the show, but continued into the next season as a couple episodes were being filmed for it as they wrapped.
And that's not a crazy thing. Have you heard about what's his name? Marty McFly.
Michael J. Fox.
What Michael J. Fox went through to be in Back to the Future?
Oh, God. Wasn't that not Facts? Was it Facts of Life?
He was on Facts of Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he would literally work and then sleep like 2 hours. And then work a half a day.
Yeah.
I mean, he was constantly working. It's not an unusual thing in that era, especially.
So what are your final thoughts as we bring the show to a close for Little Giants?
I think that I can't pretend that Little Giants is a phenomenal kids movie or a phenomenal film, but it's a ton of fun. It's a wonderful time capsule of its era. It's definitely a film that it's definitely of its time deeply. It's very much that post-'80s kid comedy where you still had a lot of farts, you still had the stereotypical fat kid, you still had like the tomboy girl who's going to learn to wear makeup. You had all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you had Ed O'Neill and Rick Moranis kind of giving it their all.
2 very strong leads,
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say if you're a 90s kid, it's definitely a rent it.
Yep, that's what I had.
But if you're just a common moviegoer, it's a stream it.
Stream it, yeah.
You know, that's my opinion. What about you?
So I gave it a rent it. Much like Snow Day from a few shows back, Little Giants is a family comedy they just don't make anymore. They do not make these style
There are
movies.
lots of reasons for that.
Yes, I know. But I think it's cute and funny with some truly heartfelt moments and a good movie for your family with 2 strong leads that make it work. It's a little longer than it needs to be, in my opinion. But
I would have to agree with
pretty
that.
Fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know what I would cut, but there is things that I could cut, I think.
It could be shortened up a little bit.
So as we bring the show to a close, we always like to give a couple of recommendations. This week, I am going to bring forth The Little Rascals from 1994. Alfalfa is wooing Darla and his He-Man woman-hating friends attempt to sabotage the relationship. Solely, this was a pick because the Clubhouse. That always makes me think of Little Rascals, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, I feel, same year as Little Giants as well, so it's just one of those classic 90s comedies for kids. And then the other one I'm going to do is a sports movie, The Big Green, Disney's The Big Green from 1995. A teacher on exchange from England is placed in an underachieving Texas school where she coaches the students in soccer, improving their self-esteem and leading to unexpected success. Steve Guttenberg's in that one, too.
The Gutenberg.
What do you got for a recommendation?
I've got one, and it's the only sports movie I ever loved.
Okay.
Very simply, there's only one sports movie I've ever absolutely positively loved my entire life, and that's The Sandlot.
Yeah,
The Sandlot is one of the greatest kids movies ever made.
Yeah.
And it's definitely the best kids movie of the 90s. The Sandlot is just excellent in every way. You identify with the kids, you identify with the adults, you identify with their plight. It depicts baseball as what it actually is, which is an excuse for friendship.
Yeah.
So you're never bogged down by like the idea of what baseball actually is.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to worry. There's no down in the ninth. There's no, I don't even know anything about baseball.
But I also love Dennis Leary's arc in that movie.
Oh, it's wonderful.
So good.
Well, and see, now you're going to make me emotional because I had a stepdad who actually cared. And thanks. And as a kid, but as a kid, I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know how rare it was to have a stepdad who like really treated you like his own.
Yeah.
So now when I watch Sandlot, I get really emotional about Dennis Leary's character because I was very much that way to my stepdad. It was very unfair, but I was a little kid. I mean, I was very little.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't throw in my fucking yellow belt or anything, but
God.
but I mean, in all seriousness, that's another element of the Sandlot that makes it very special to me.
Yeah.
Is the fact that Dennis Leary, he never does anything to really be a villain, but the kid just treats him like a villain because he's not his dad.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what that's like. So The Sandlot is just one of those quintessential movies we'll be talking about on the show inevitably.
Oh, absolutely, we will.
Yeah, so, but with all that said, Little Giants, it's a great piece of fun.
Yeah.
Nobody gets hurt except for the fat kid's underwear as he passes gas constantly.
I will say, too, it's also not streaming anywhere right now, so you will have to find it and or rent it.
You'll have to hunt and gather.
Yes.
But it'll be worth it to score your very own touchdown as you watch the film and go, wow, kids' movies are, they're much less filthy.
Offensive.
Offensive. That's a good way to put it, too.
Yeah.
So with that all being said, Double D.
Yes, sir.
Before we get out of here, I am so tired.
I can tell.
Oh, thanks. I can tell you threw away your goddamn yellow belt, too.
My God.
But
Never should have said a goddamn thing.
That being said, just thank you guys for hanging out with us and listening to Do You Even Movie. Make sure to check out doyouevenmovie.com for all the info about everything we've got going on. If you want to support the show, you can go to doyouevenmovie.com, click on Patreon. For $3 a month, you get to see every episode 4 days early in video form. And we sure do appreciate it. And if you want to support the show in a way that costs you absolutely nothing, you can either, if you're watching on YouTube, like, share, comment. Liking and commenting is a big thing.
Yes.
And if you're listening to the podcast, please leave us a star rating.
Yes, absolutely.
On Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It makes a big difference.
And you can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Do You Even Movie Pod. We are also on X and Facebook, and we got a lot of fun stuff over there. And if you like what you're hearing, please feel free to send us an email, leave us a review, leave us a comment. We would love to get some recommendations, some feedback, anything.
Well, our email is doyouevenmoviepod@gmail.com.
Hey.
So maybe you should say that too.
You said that, I thought.
I did not.
Okay, well, now you did.
Guy. Well, now I did. So, are you going to find your fucking yellow belt or what?
I don't know. I mean, I got to check my basement.
You threw it away and you know it.
I don't know, dude. It could be at my parents' house. I have no idea.
I can't believe you
came
do that
across
to your
it,
sensei.
I want to say about 10 years ago I came across it, probably. I have to check. It may be in my closet, actually. I may have literally just seen it when I was at parents' house over the weekend. Now I'm curious. Damn it, now I'm going to go home for my yellow belt. I don't want to do this. Why did I tell you this story?
You make a lot of mistakes. So what are we showing next week? Are you watching?
Next week, we are going to be taking a little bit of a turn to Bad Moon, one of the best underrated werewolf movies, of the 90s by Eric Red.
Yes, Eric Red. It's a great flick. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching it.
Yes.
And because I think we came up with that idea because the Ides of March is referencing the moon, apparently.
Yep.
Which I had no idea that's what the Ides of March meant.
Who knew?
So, but with that all being said, my Apple Watch tells me that we have a tornado watch.
Oh, great.
So time for you to drive home.
Yep, yes it is.
So everybody, we'll see you next Tuesday.
See ya.
Right here on Do You Even Movie. Adios. Fucking yellow belt bastard.
My God.